Hello and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present, and an exciting future under the one and only Ange Postecoglou. And yes, we're bringing you this special stream. We weren't going to stream tonight. We thought we'd have a night off, but we got news. And Colm is deep out of that news. He's our money and our transfer correspondent for THFC Till I Die. He is the man with all that knows, but firstly, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe on the Full-Time Sports Network, on THFC Till I Die, also on the European Football Network Till We Die as well. Let's grow these YouTube channels to become the powerhouse of YouTube. And for some reason, we were going the next, but none of them are working. So, X, do us a favor, get your act together. Just get your act together. But joining me, of course, on this stream is my usual co-host. He is the fourth partner of the THFC Till I Die. He's our tech guy. He's our football correspondent. He is everything. He's also a Manchester United fan. It is the one and only Mr. Colm, Man United. Oh, Connor. How are you, Colm, tonight?
I'm not bad, thank you. It's going to be interesting to talk to you about what's going on around Tottenham, especially in the last couple of hours. That's when all the news has come out. So yeah.
Look, it is going to be interesting. Look, I was going to do a pre-record about this, but it's a question I want to ask you, Colm, and it's about Jed Spence. Now, I am going to do a pre-record on this, guys. It's going to be about 10 minutes long. I think Jed Spence is on a redemption arc at Tottenham under Ange Postecoglou. I actually really do. Do you think he is, or do you think I'm being a little bit over the top?
No, I mean, I think we actually spoke about this a little bit earlier on in the day, didn't we? No, I think, judging by, obviously, I've not watched the game. I've seen the highlights, but I've not watched the game. So I like watching football in general. It's not just about Man United with me, as you've seen before. You know, it's not. I think he's now being steered in the right direction, if you get what I mean. You know, we all know he had a bit of an attitude issue, but he didn't seem to have it when he went out on loan last. I believe you told me that. And Ange doesn't really take anybody like that, you know, and he's given him the opportunity and the chance. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with Spence, to be fair. Because he is a very, very good player. He's talented.
He's very talented. And the goal, sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera. I do apologize. I've been sort of playing about with it and I didn't get it right for some reason. I will get there. I'll sod it. Leave it now. I thought he played, but he was my man of the match in the second half, where Archie Gray was my man of the match in the first half. But I tell you one thing, I said to you earlier, we have your version of the class of 92. You told me actually rightly not to get ahead of myself. But I think we do, Colm. You see some of them, Mikey Moore, Lancashire. You see the likes of
I'm gonna say it to you again. I'm gonna say it to you again, and everybody else in the chat. You can praise these kids as much as you like, but this is pre-season. These games mean nothing. They literally mean nothing. It's just warm-up games, you know, getting your fitness and everything back up. If these lads can do it every other week or every week, even better every week, in the actual Premier League season, then yes, call them your class of 92. But it's your class of 2024, technically. But I wouldn't get too, you know, ahead
I know
because of pre-season games. Because let's be honest, pre-season is like us getting a bunch of lads together and going on a pitch down our local, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for me last night, I know it was only Hearts, and I know it was only pre-season, but for me last night, it was the way we won. I mean, tomorrow night, the podcast, we are going to go more in depth in it. Emerson, for me, needs to go. We are going to talk more about it, but it's not what we're on tonight. We're going to welcome a few people in, Colm, and then we're going to get on talking about, if I get my screen right, it's about a potential takeover or partial takeover at Tottenham Hotspur. which could happen. And then we could get our first signing. As you see, it is Jonathan David. Could be coming over the line as well. So a lot of potential news from Spurs. And any more news on the David thing, we will bring it to you live. Even if it's 1 a.m, I will come on live and bring it to you. We do that at every transfer window, and we won't fail you this one either. Big up to DJ Samuel. Big up DJ First One Coys. Stephen Cartwright. Big up Stephen. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Coys. Big up Stephen. Big up Mr. Wayne Bonner. Evening, folks. Hope everyone is well and having a good day. We're having a great day. Chris Welsh, the Liverpool fan. Big up, Chris. Hope you're doing well, sir. And how you finding life under Arne Slot? I tell you one thing, a big change for Liverpool. No Klopp, Slot. See how that goes. Wouldn't really want Amanda invested in the club, and she didn't. She didn't invest in Newcastle. She was a cheerleader with the real owners' money. Well, Conham's got something why that was happening. I think he's going to make a very good few points on this. Big up, Chris. Anyway, big up, lads. Hope you well. Yeah, we are grand. I hope you well. How's your pre-season going, Chris? Let us know. Are you happy, sad, impressed, or not impressed with Arne Slot? Big up, Boris. Don't think that's how the man. I don't think that's how man in the match worked. Well, it does in my head. Considering on another channel, I got called an American, but it's not the worst I've been called, so I'll take it. Stephen Cartwright, Spence was our best player yesterday. He really was, actually. Can he do it long term, though? Watch my pre-record, which I'm going to do tonight after this. It's coming out tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. See what you think. Connor might do with me as well, so that'd be interesting if he does. Class of 24. And look at that. DJ's just got that there going. Sitting back after having a nice meal, a nice glass of wine. He's sitting with his missus and he's just looking smug. So that's how we all feel. Big up to DJ says, so does the 1-0 loss to a Norwegian team who got 11th last season for United then?
Yeah, it means nothing. Pre-season means absolutely nothing to everybody. You know, you don't win a trophy for winning pre-season games, do you? It's what happens in the league that matters.
We've got Boris' second signing, but if you want to be a pain in the ass, here's the third. Yeah, it is the third signing, technically. Chris says, Dermot has an alarm clock every hour just in case the news breaks about Spurs. Well, it's about Spurs or any Premier League news, because on the European Football Network, we're going to cover the European transfers over there. So any news, yeah. We should just name ourselves just something sports, 24 hours a day coverage.
God, no. Can you imagine 24 hours a day?
You could give Philip Brady, if you are watching, we can give you the graveyard shift, the midnight to 6 in the morning shift.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? Just 24 hours a day. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen what Boris just called us. Chris says, Slot's pre-season not started yet, but Carlisle has 2 wins and 1. Very good for Carlisle.
See, that says exactly what pre-season's about, you know. Carlisle have got 2 wins and a draw.
Let me get this right. Is there a rivalry between Doncaster and Carlisle?
No. We're too far away from each other.
Oh, so you get on then as fans?
Doncaster get along with everybody, apart from Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham and Scunthorpe and Sheffield United and Huddersfield and Bradford.
Boris has called us B-Tech Sky Sports.
Yes. Yes,
that's
we
us. Yeah. Now, tequila. Colin.
Tequila.
Don't know why I called you tequila.
Oh, no, you've done a face reveal.
Big up tequila if you're watching, sir. Now, take over at Spurs. Now, for what I understand, it's Amanda Chevrolet. She was part of the team at Newcastle. She left Newcastle and her husband at the end of the season. There's 500 million they're looking to invest. Tottenham are not the only team. There's Monaco, West Ham, and a few other. So do you want to give us the background to this story, Colin, for what you know and what you've heard? And we'll take it from there. So what's the latest on this? What is the very latest on this you can give us?
Yeah, well, I mean, the latest that I have on it is obviously that she is looking to invest in a football club. It's not going to be multiple; it's going to be one. It's definitely one we need to keep an eye out, obviously, for Spurs fans,
Mhm.
obviously for other fans as well, because, like I said, there is more than one club. Um, but the Newcastle plan didn't go as she wanted it to. She wants to invest or buy a club with a portfolio, which means they can spend from day dot. They're not having to worry about the FFP and everything like
Mm.
that. So that is what she's looking for. She's looking for something as well, from a team that's going to be competing European wise, or
Yeah.
trying to get into the European
Mm.
competitions pretty much every season as well. Obviously, there is ramifications because obviously Newcastle have had a bit of a torrid season last season. And if they don't have a better season this season, we could see big players from Newcastle leaving at the end of next season simply because of
Yeah.
FFP and
N-
obviously European football.
Right. Question. Are the Saudis still own? Do the Saudis still
Yes.
own
Yes, they do. The
Newcastle?
Saudis still own Newcastle, but they cannot spend like they did because of FFP. They are not bringing in as much money as what they're spending.
Right. Now, I also read today. Now, I don't know if this is true that there is talk. Now, we had Amazon out the other night. That news broke, which we didn't bring you because when I looked into it, I went to my two usual sources. One sent me back when I was talking to the other source, sent him back a laughing emoji with, but it could be 31%. I think was the quote. And that was for a 51% takeover, which would leave like Manchester United. I don't want somebody coming in just with investment. I want what United have. For me, I think that it helps both worlds. It helps the Levy outers happy because Levy's not in control of the footballing side of the club. Secondly, I think we need investment to buy players, but we can buy players. We could spend up to 400 million without breaking FFP. Like him, loathe him. Daniel Levy has put us into a position where people will look at Tottenham Hotspur and think, there's a club that's going to go places. So, do you think we had to go through the pain? Are we now getting the gain of what he's done, of the way he's done it, the way his model is? We're possibly now going to get the gain from that now, aren't we?
Yeah, I
In
mean,
one way.
there's always that possibility of getting the gain from
Mm,
it. I mean, if you have somebody come in and do what Sir Jim's done at
mm,
United and Old Trafford, then like you said, it'll appease. I wouldn't say it would make everybody happy, but it appease certain members of the Spurs
mm,
community. They want football people in charge. Now, you've got to be wary about that as well, because if a Jeff Bezos, for instance, because you just mentioned him,
mm.
comes in, is he a football person? No, he is
No.
another businessman. So you might be getting this massive investment in, and he's going to be taking the footballing side away from Daniel, but then he still needs to bring in the right people to come and do
Mm,
the job for him, because he can't do it. I mean, he might be able to. He might be, an absolute genius when it comes to football, but we don't know because there's no evidence in him
no.
doing that. So it's going to be difficult because you got to bring
Mm,
in these people. You need to bring in the Dan Ashworths and everybody like that, and there's not many of them out there that are
no.
high quality and high caliber.
Well, to be fair, I think we have got a football. We've got Paratici, who doesn't work for Tottenham, but he's behind the scenes anyway. We've got we've got Lang. We've got all the other people there, and I think there's a good team around Ange at the moment. But there's two ways you could have a Todd Bowley takeover, half takeover, and look what Chelsea are, or you do what Man United do, football the people in that know about the game, and that's what you want at Tottenham. That's what we've always wanted. Now, 500 million doesn't buy you a lot, does it? To be fair, out of any club. I read somewhere 4 billion could get 51%. Now, I know we had the problem with Joe Lewis a while ago. We also had the problem with that he's now his whatever his rights to Tottenham Hotspur are in the hands of lawyers. Could somebody go to that lawyer and say, right, I'm prepared to give you 3.5 billion for your 51% of the shares? Could that be a way of doing it?
Not until the trial and everything is done with, because obviously his assets will have been frozen, and his shares in Tottenham Hotspur are his assets, so therefore his shares will have been frozen. Like I said, it all depends. It's a difficult one when it comes to law and everything like that. It's very fine margins between what you can and can't do. I would imagine if they are subpoenaing him for his records and etc., obviously some of those records will be in regards to the Tottenham Hotspur side of things as well. So everything will be frozen.
So could I mean, he did get found guilty. I thought that gone away. Is that still in the background, that Joe Lewis thing?
I don't think there was ever a. Like I said, Boris is saying, yeah, pretty sure his trial is over already, as he pleaded guilty. He got a fine and so on, without like properly looking into it. Because I mean, I don't really tend to follow what people have done wrong and right, you know. But if his trial's over, then and he's still obviously able to sell his shares, then yes, maybe somebody could come in. But I don't think somebody's going to. I don't think he will or somebody will accept the money that's going to be offered for 51%. Because if you're buying 51% for 3.1 billion or something like that, you know, that means you're estimating your club at a value of 6.2 billion in total. And yes, you might have the infrastructure and everything like that, but Tottenham is not worth 6.2 billion.
No, it's not.
Tottenham's worth 3.5 at the most, 4 maybe.
It's Daniel Levy overpricing the product. Really,
yes, exactly. I know he's got the infrastructure in, you know, he's got the hotels, the racetrack, you know, he can hold concerts, NFL games. That's all fantastic, but it still does not evaluate to a 2 to 3 billion pound pay rise. Yeah, it doesn't.
So look, you look at it's something to keep an eye on this, because this story I've been hearing since the end of last season about a takeover. This is not a new thing for me. I think it was around end of April, May time, I was hearing stories. And a lot of it I couldn't talk about because of NDAs, because I wasn't allowed to say anything. But this has been rumbling. And the thing is, with these stories, you have to look through the stories and weed out the bull and try to take the facts from fiction. Now, this has legs. This has been growing and growing and growing and growing. There is something to this now. You know, it's not just somebody putting a story, say, in the boot room or on some newspaper. This is broken from Newcastle, from the Gazette. I read the article. She's already had a meeting with Rothschild and Co., who are Tottenham Hotspur's. I forget what you call them. I think brokers. So anything that Tottenham are, they're linked to them. She's already had an initial meeting. That's in that article. It broke on the Newcastle.
She's also had initial meetings with Monaco representatives, West Ham representatives, Villa representatives, and Bayer Leverkusen as well. So there is multiple clubs. This thing could happen. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, because obviously she's keeping her options very, very open. Of where she wants to invest in or try and take over, or whatever it is. So that's where we stand now. I wouldn't rule it out, because it could potentially happen, but with the amount of clubs that she is actually talking to at the minute, I wouldn't pin your hopes on that it's going to be Spurs 100%.
Now, let's talk a bit about the Amazon thing, because we did read the article the other night, you, me, and Tequila. Look, we got a laughing emoji from our other source that we use. We spoke to both sources. You spoke to one, I spoke to the other. You got a laughing emoji of your source, and I got the same of mine. Would the naming rights be involved in that Amazon thing as well? Because that could could be wide. That could have legs on it as well, by the way.
Mm.
So,
I mean,
where are you looking at? There's too much. It's a too much. It's something that see with me for this. It's hard to get a question out what I'm trying to get out, but there is something to this, isn't there? There is something something's happening in the background. Whatever's happening, something is happening, and that's the thing.
I mean, something is happening in the background. What it is, obviously, we don't know because people are keeping it tight-lipped. We've got the information we've got today because of we've got very reliable, trusting sources. That know they're going to do well for it. However, I mean, I am going to say about this Jeff Bezos or whatever he's called that owns Amazon. Yes, okay, it's a small possibility. And that is what I've received, that it's a small possibility. That to me doesn't make me feel like, yes, it's going to happen. When somebody says there's a small possibility, I'm thinking, well, there's a small possibility that you might go out and spend 35 million on buying Messi. There's a small possibility it can happen, but it's probably not going to happen. I think it all depend on. I think that the naming rights will be involved in it, of course. So you might become the Amazon Hotspur Stadium, as Boris has put in the chat, or you might not be. You might just keep yourselves as the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but you might have a big Prime logo slapped on your stadium somewhere or something. So it possibly
I wouldn't
could
mind
happen.
that actually.
Yeah, this is what I say. It could happen, but unfortunately, until we actually get more information, because talks haven't really begun with anybody. I mean, I know Amanda has actually spoken to Spurs, but as far as I'm aware, and the information I've been given, she's spoken to everybody. And as far as I'm aware, Jeff Bezos hasn't not made any contact with any club.
Well, look, it's a story that's going to run, but no, we do know, we were told it will be by the end of the year. Now, we were told that. Something is happening because we were told something was happening, but it won't be to the end of the year, to the end of this year, which is 31st of December. I think, personally, it's my own opinion, and a big up to Tequila. I hope you're well, mate, and I hope you're all right. We miss you tonight, man, but I know you're back tomorrow with the podcast, and we're looking forward to hearing your views and hearing your... Let us know in the chat what you think about this takeover bit as well, what you think. But me personally, I think Daniel Levy's looking for a way out. Personally, I think he's looking for a football way out. He doesn't want to give up the business side. But if somebody comes in and gives him 3-4 billion for the football side, he might just say, that's enough for me. I'm going to take that. Big up to Moosey Talks. Where's Bobby? Having a well-on rest, I think. But isn't he, Connor?
Yeah, Bobby's having a rest today. Yes, he is, because he's been working all day, bless him. And just to put it in perspective for you as well, Tottenham, obviously owned by the Enix Group, is estimated to be worth 2.6 billion.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes in with a £5 billion investment, they are buying the club.
Yeah.
There's no investment. They are wanting the whole club for 5 billion.
Yeah.
Because that's just under double the actual price of Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah. We've got so what's your football antenna telling you? Mine's telling me something's happening. I think we're going to get the same thing that happened at United. Somebody's going to buy the football inside, leave Daniel Levy as chairman, but he's not going to have any involvement in the football side. That is what I'm getting. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
I'm not going to throw my sword and jump on it right this second because I don't have all the information. Obviously, whenever I do manage to get this information from our sources, we speak about it anyway. So if you get it before I get it, or if I get it before you get it, we'll speak about it. And probably once we've got that little bit more, I think I'll be able to throw my sword and then jump head first on that sword, but at the moment, I just don't know.
No, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not jumping on my sword, but I do feel that that's the way it may go. Because I think for Daniel Levy, he's happy he hasn't lost control of the club completely, and it keeps Spurs fans happy because we've got football. We might have somebody come in that can spend a good lot of money on new players. But do we need new players? Look at the kids we've brought in. Do we really need? Is Daniel Levy doing a good enough job so far under Ange? And I have to say he is. He's backed Ange. We've brought in good players. Is it? Look, we need investment, great, but I don't want it to rock the boat either. Because I don't want a new man to come in and think, well, Ange is not my man. And then all the work, which could happen, somebody could come in and by the football and side say, Ange Postecoglou is not the manager for me. I want a Zidane or I want somebody big named in.
Yeah.
And then all the work we've done is all down the tubes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, when somebody comes in and takes over a portion or the whole club, they tend to want their people in charge.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit of an anomaly when they stick with a previously appointed manager. Now, if somebody did come in and take over a partial football side of Spurs or the whole club and decided to get rid of Ange, I think there would be a massive uproar anyway.
Yeah.
Because of how much Ange has actually helped you progress. I'm not saying that they won't, but yeah, exactly like Ten Hag tequila. You know, Sir Jim and everybody wasn't sold on Ten Hag. You know, they wanted their own person in, but they've decided to give him another season and see how he does. You know, so yeah, it's a difficult one because we never know what the new party are going to want to do.
No, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's be careful what you want to wish for, because you want to wish Daniel Levy out of the club, and I know that some people are more vigorous and more vocal about that than other people, and they want him out of the club, they want Enoch out of the club. But be careful what you wish for, because if somebody new comes in and runs the club, look at Manchester United with the Glazers as an example. But when the Edwards had it, it was a profitable, well-run football club. One of the richest clubs in the world. Technically, you still are one of the richest clubs in the world. But you had the best stadium in the world, in Europe. You had the best manager. You could go out and buy the best players. Glazers come in. First couple of years, brilliant. Now look at you. A stadium that's fallen around itself. A team that's been in disarray. This is something you know as well as I do, Colin, and you're vocal very much in it. We could have that at Tottenham if we get the wrong owners.
Yeah. I mean,
so you've got to be very careful what you wish for. When Edwards sold to the Glazers, were you one of the ones that thought, new owners, brilliant, let's move on? But now you're Glazer out because you've seen what they've done to your club. So I don't want somebody coming in and turning Tottenham Hotspur into what the Glazers have done with you lot. I just don't want that.
No. I think it'd be very difficult to make Spurs into what happened at United. Because, I mean, Spurs are well ran. You know, it's well put together. There's a lot of contingencies in case things go wrong already in place. Now, I think even if Daniel Levy left, those contingencies would stay. But again, new owners, you don't know what they're actually going to be like. No. You know, this is the issue. This is why when names get thrown about and stuff like, you know, Jeff Bezos or this Amanda or, you know, bloody Saudi Arabia, you don't know what these people are going to do to the club when they come in. So you always have to be wary about it. I don't think it's going to go that way for you. I
don't think it will.
I think if Daniel ever does sell, you'll stay as you are. I think like I said, there's enough contingencies in place, and you'll stay as you are.
I think it will, and I think Daniel Levy will always have a say in there. He'll always have a minority stake in the club. He's built this club up to what it is now. for where we were when he bought that from Alan Shearer for 21 million. He's built a club that was worth 21 million to nearly 3 billion. New stadium. Look, I was devastated when they knocked down White Hart Lane. Don't get me wrong, love White Hart Lane, miss it, but I love the new stadium as well. I love that we can do everything there. We're now a multicultural club, which is the right thing. I think it's the way forward. Daniel Levy, I think, is ahead of his time in some of the things he's done at Tottenham, where I think other chairmen now are starting to do what he did. He's been ahead of the curve. Look, he hasn't pleased everyone. That we know that. And he's made mistakes, and I think he's admitted that himself. But if we get somebody like what Manchester United have, and they come in, as you rightly say, if they sack Ange, there's going to be uproar. But if somebody wants to come in and invest in the team and invest money so we can get the best players to help Ange become successful, I'm all for that. I just don't want my club going down the same route the way you've seen your club go down, to be honest, and that worries me.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that really worries me.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's always something that's in the back of your head, when takeovers and everything are spoken about, because like I said, when the Glazers took over, I just thought, it's a change of manager, it's a change of ownership, but it's going to be business as usual. Little did we know what they were actually doing. But I mean, we're not here to talk about Manchester United.
No,
so
it's an example, though. I was trying to use it as an example.
Yeah. I know.
And look, I think, if Amanda and her husband want to invest in Tottenham, I think with Newcastle, it was the circumstances that went against them that stopped them doing what they wanted to do at Newcastle. They won't have that at Tottenham because we're a club that qualifies for Europe every season. We are in the position where we can tick all the boxes. But as you say, we're not. I mean, West Ham. Anyone looking to invest in the West Ham might as well just go into Dublin, go to the Liffey, get a big bag of money, and just chuck it in the Liffey, and just let it float away, because that's all you're going to do if you do there. The Monaco, I possibly could see, and also buying Leverkusen, I can rarely see because of what they did. But if you're looking at a club with history, with potential, with the right structures, I think Tottenham's your club. I rarely do. Personally, that's my own opinion, but we'll have to see what happens.
See, I understand where you're coming from, but there's also a little bit of bias in there because you are a Tottenham fan. If we're looking at well-structured, ran clubs, then yes, Tottenham is definitely up there. But you cannot rule out Leverkusen because, they are fantastically well-structured. They've got a fantastic coach. Aston Villa have done fantastically well as well, and they're starting to get...
I have to say they have.
Yeah, they've got structure going through theirs now. Okay, West Ham, I'm kind of with you. I don't understand why you'd buy West Ham. I could go down there now with 50p and buy West Ham. They're probably worth that much, and I'd come out with change. Monaco, Monaco were these giants in the Ligue 1 that have dropped off. So maybe she wants to help, or whoever it is wants to help, push Monaco back to being, the French giants that they once were.
We are a sleeper giant as well, Tottenham is. Tottenham's a sleeper giant.
I'm not saying you're not a sleeping giant. I'm not saying you're a sleeping giant, not a sleeping giant at all. I'm just saying, where you got to think, you also got to think business point as well.
Yeah.
Where am I going to make the most money the quickest? Buying Tottenham in a league where it's going to take probably about, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 billion in transfers and a couple of seasons to get you up to that? Or do I go to a Leverkusen who's already up there? They're already quite well. I've only got to invest a little bit and keep challenging. Or do I go to Monaco where it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper because it's the French league and nobody gives a rat's ass about it, and I can get players in cheaper because it's the French league and progress them up in a season or two, because it's only PSG they've got to beat.
Yeah. If I was to put you on the spot, right, we'll have a little competition about this, and I'm taking my bias out of it, right? I think the two clubs will bottle down to will be Monaco and Tottenham, in my opinion. Where's the two clubs you think it may get down to the last two?
I think the last two will be Tottenham and Leverkusen.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat what you think, and also let know in the comment what you think as well. Let us know, would you be happy with if somebody came in and said, we're going to buy the footballing side and leave Levy in charge on the business side? Would that be happy with you? Would you be happy with Amanda coming in with a husband worth 500 million, which is reportedly investment? Do you want a full takeover? Do you want a Man United style takeover? So let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments after the stream. Let us know in the comments what you want, and we will take it from there. Now, transfer latest, sir. What is the latest? Because we have got a really bit of breaking news. Hang on, before you do that, I've got to play the breaking news thing. See, I've got a breaking. I need to do a new one. I do realise that, but this is one for now. See, that put you to sleep. That music. That's very sort of calming. Maybe I need to do something a bit more rocky. Jonathan David has been linked with Spurs.
Again.
Very, very substantial link as well, I think, for what we're hearing. It is a striker, is what we need. So what is the latest? What's the latest you have? Because you were speaking to our source today, not me, because I've been busy doing other things. So what's the latest you got on that column you can give us?
Yeah, so the latest I have on Jonathan David is that he could be heading to the Premier League to come and play under Ange Postecoglou for Spurs. Apparently, Jonathan David has turned around and said he loves this style of football. He loves Ange as a person as well. He's spoken to Ange, as far as I'm aware, off-season, nothing to do with actually, transfers or anything like that, because that would break rules. So there's been no rules broken there, but they have spoken. He really likes Ange and would like to come and play his football in the Premier League, and thinks London is the perfect place to go do so.
Please come. Please come. Just please come. Look, I think this will happen, personally. I really do. I do think this will happen. This transfer will happen. Anyone that speaks to Ange ends up signing for the club. I don't know what Ange says to them. Like James Maddison. He had a phone call with Ange. The next day, 2 days, he was signing for the club. Or anyone that signed for Tottenham has spoken to Ange. That's it. They've signed. What do you think Ange says to these players? I would love to know.
Yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, to be fair. But I've just been given a little bit more as well, actually. Tottenham remain in contact and have been for the past several months, daily contact with Jonathan David and his team to try and convince him, to try and get the deal sorted, basically.
So this is actually breaking news as we're getting it. Tottenham are now in talks with Jonathan David. I think I can say that, Colin, with quite authority. Tottenham are in talks with David. Let's know what you think, guys. This is major news. Apparently, big up to Killian Kenny. Big up Dermo. Come on, your boys in green. Exactly. The 7th of September cannot come quickly enough when me and Colin go up head to head, and Philip go head to head with Tequila and Bobby as Ireland play England. We all know what's going to happen there. Carl says Eze, David, and Chessier and Gallagher. I can live with that. The Gallagher deal, I think he might end up at Aston Villa. This is just me on the personal opinion. I think the Champions League carrot's going to be too much, but he may well end up at Spurs. He's another target. Spurs haven't given up on Gallagher. Yeah, Eze wants to come to Spurs. That's his preferred choice. So
a lot of these deals, Eze, David, Chiesa, and Gallagher, they're all linked with Spurs. I know people are happy because they're all pretty good. Names to be linked with, minus Gallagher. I don't understand why people get so much news on Gallagher. But from what I've heard as well, Gallagher seems to be heading more towards Villa at the moment than he does Spurs, simply because of transfer fee. You know, Villa are willing to pay it. Spurs are haggling a little bit.
Yeah, so they should. Killian's asking, any news? And David, do you want to give Killian the latest news? So basically, well, I'll let you tell him.
Yeah, so basically the news on Jonathan David, Killian, is that he could be heading his way over to London to sign for Tottenham. They are actually keeping daily contact with one another, Tottenham and Jonathan David and his representatives. So yeah, that could happen within the next couple of days, weeks, but I think he'll get over the line.
Could you see him on piece, and could it get done for the look? Tottenham are away in 3 days' time to go to the Far East. Could that deal get done for him to be in that preseason tour, or do you think it would be for the Bayern Munich game at home on the 10th of August? If he was to sign,
I think if he's to sign, I think then your next game would be too soon. Because obviously you got to get medicals. He's got to fly over here. You know, there's quite a lot to be done.
Looking at the Munich game in the Far East.
Yeah, earliest is the Munich game, I'd say.
So listen, guys, we are going to keep eyes on this. This could break at any time. So as soon as we know, we'll be back live and let you know, Killian. So keep your notification bell on for that. We've got Ed M. Big up, Ed. Hope you're doing well. So I haven't seen you for a little while, but big up. So he says, I know if it was my money, I'd be buying Bayer Vista for sale. Easy to get a work permit for South America players. Profit on sales could turn into a Champions League qualifiers with investment. I'm a bit wary of South American players, to be fair. Colin, I don't know about you. I know you've got examples like Tevez and people like that have come over and been very successful in the Premier League. But he is a good player, this Boa Vista.
I think he means the football club, mate. Boa Vista FC. I think he's
on about. Think if it was my money, I'd be. Oh, sorry. I thought he was talking about the player because there is a player, I think, called Boa Vista in South America.
Yeah, there is a player, but yeah, he's on about the club.
All right.
I believe.
That will be clipped and put up as a short demo, actually talking a load of bullshit. Apparently, Carl is saying Carl's got his own sauce as well. I don't know whose his sauce is. I think his sauce is tomato ketchup or brown sauce. Apparently, we have matched Chelsea's wage with Juventus, so you never know. Also, Rabat, it's a free transfer now, so worth a punt.
Yeah, Manchester United have also matched Chies's wages.
Yeah. Where do you think he'll end up?
You know what? I couldn't care.
Do you think? Look, is the Premier League a bigger pool than Serie A?
Yeah. Premier League is a bigger pool than Serie A. Premier League's more competitive, 100%.
Is Man United still a bigger pool than Tottenham?
The Man United name is, yeah. I mean, we've just literally got Lenny Yoro, who was linked with Real Madrid, and you know our name has pulled him into Manchester United. And he's not going to Real Madrid, so the United name still carries a lot of weight, as we've just seen. We've got Lenny Yoro and we've got Joshua Zirkzee, two young players but two highly sought after players, and they've come because of the badge and the name, and probably the wages. But
and Boris says we've got Bergfield and a name pulled him. And our name, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about buying young players, isn't it? I think this winter. But Jonathan David, just give you the latest, guys, if you're just joining us. Jonathan David and Tottenham are in talks. They've been in talks for several months. He did speak to Ange over the summer, but no rules were broken. It was on a personal. I think they met in Germany, as far as I know. But he likes Tottenham. He likes Ange. He likes the way we played. So that transfer, I will get over the line. Colin is convinced of that. I'm now convinced of that. And if all going well, could make his debut for the Bayern Munich game, either in Far East or White Hart Lane. So let's see what happens. Colin, I think that's about it. I don't think there's much other news, unless you want to talk about anything else.
No, I don't think there is anything.
But the one thing more on the Jonathan David transfer, how quickly do you honestly think that it'd be done and dusted? Are we looking like, do you think they've put in the hard yarns already? It's just the finishing touches, like the agent fees and little things like this. Is it? Do you reckon we're that far?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, without getting a lot more information, we don't really know. All we know is that there's been contact. They're keeping contact. The Saski Guna, I know who you are, Moss. It looks like he's not going to Arsenal, mate. He's going to Spurs. And well done. You finished 4th in the Copa America. Congratulations. Or 3rd or whatever it was. You didn't win it, so I was still right about Canadian players and goalkeepers. Tequila, your sauce is what comes out of my backside in the morning into the toilet. Manu's not going anywhere.
No, it's manure. It's manure.
Manure, yeah, manure tequila. It's manure. But yeah, I mean, this Jonathan David thing could happen, as quickly as Radu Dragonson came in. That literally happened within a day. We heard about it, and then that were it. It was like over here, and he was signing. And then, it could be the Harry Kane story where, you guys broke it. I think it was like a month and a half or something before it actually happened.
I got so much stick over that because we were announcing going to United, and I fell through a lot of trapdoors, and that was our first really proper transfer window summer. And I did a lot of mistakes, and I appreciate that. But we were the first to break about Ange coming to Tottenham. I think a week before it happened. We were the first to say about, a month before that Harry Kane was leaving Spurs. And we got belts for that.
Yeah.
This is, if you want proper factual, non-clickbait news, THFC Till I Die, the full-time sports network, and the European Football Network Till I Die is your place to be. We don't do that. We don't do the clickbait bullshit. We just give you proper facts. And if it's not myself and Colin, it would be Tequila or Philip, or be all 4 of us. Somebody will come on. But the Davies thing, we're going to keep our eyes close to it, our fingers to the pulse. As soon as anything breaks, we will go live straight away and give you the very latest, guys. Colin, thank you so much for coming on. And while you're on a personal level, thank you so much for all the help you give us back in the background with all the studios you build for us, with all the thumbnails you do for us, the tech work and everything. Myself and Tequila and Philip, we owe you a debt because you really have helped us expand as a channel and everyone at the Full-Time Sports Network. It's been a great partnership, and I'm so glad that we did get in together. And a massive thank you for the 3 of us, for you and Bobby, especially you, because you're our tech man. So thank you so much, Colin. Really appreciate everything you do.
I don't know what he's on about, guys. I don't really do anything. I just sit in the background and just moan and bitch about them. That's all I do. Honest, I don't actually do anything. They just ask me to do something. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll get it between 3 to 5 working days. Yeah. No, thank you. It means a lot. But the credit goes to you guys. I might do some of the tech stuff in the background, but you guys are the ones doing all the shows, finding everything, putting it all together. So yeah, no, it's you guys that deserve the credit. So make sure you give these guys, I'm pointing the wrong direction, these guys here, a good old slap on the like button and a subscribe, and go to the Patreon, support them.
Thank you. Colin, as well as finding Colin Moncoss on our channel where he's a member, he's a co-owner of our channel as well. Where else where people find it? Because you've got your own YouTube channel as well. So give that a massive plug as well.
Oh God, I've got too many. I mean, you can go and watch us absolutely butcher pro clubs. That is currently on YouTube on the Double Dumb Gaming channel. I apologize now.
Shame.
Yes, you do. I apologize now. I did not do very well at editing that one out, and there is a lot of explosives still in that because I missed them all because there was that many throughout the whole session. Go to FTSN as well. That's one of the channels. Me and Bobby, we do a lot of stuff over there, and also, yeah, there you go. Tequila's just put the Patreon in there.
Yeah.
Go to MUFC Spotlight, which is my Manchester United channel, which is going to start kicking up again soon, seeing as though the season is nearly back. And that's for all your Man United needs or content, or if you just want to come and annoy me, basically.
Yeah, I'm just putting that as well. And please give them a like. They're great lads. They're our official YouTube partner. On YouTube, the Full-Time Sports Network and the THFC Till I Die and the European Football Network. Yeah, if you want to see a striker miss a goal from, I don't know, by that much out, please watch it. I had 2 chances in one game and I blew it. I nicked a penalty and he still hasn't forgiven me for it yet. But
I forgot about that, to be fair.
Yeah. Also, our official sponsor is Wraith Energy. Please go hit the QR code for THFC TRT for 10% off to get your latest Wraith Energy stuff. Get it in before the start of the season. And I know the Full-Time Sports Network are sponsored by Wraith as well. And what's your code?
FTSN22.
Please do that and do hit the Patreon channel. It does help us grow. We're going to do Patreon fan shows after every game. The link for the Discord, the link for the Patreon is in the description below. So please do that. Come in, have your say on Tottenham. This is what it's all about. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Colin. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Come on, you Spurs. And Big Ange, we trust.